If there's one person in Hollywood who people think of as the personification of sustainable living and environmental activism, that person would have to be Ed Begley Jr. In addition to his storied acting career, he's been a prominent activist for decades and is taking on a new challenge. He and his family are building a new home under Platinum LEED certified standards. And his colleague, Raphael Sbarge, is directing a web series about this latest quest called On Begley Street. Tell us why it is that you did this.
You know, I had a show before that was 2 seasons on Home and Garden and then one on Planet Green. It was called Living with Ed. And it was, you know, how to do kind of stuff, retrofit stuff. I had a 1936 home I moved into in '88, and to make that home, that old home that had no insulation, very ungreen, to make that green is what we demonstrated. Then we thought, what about doing a lot with new construction? Because when you're building a new structure, you can do a great deal more. So we set about building a new LEED Platinum, that's the highest standard of green, to build a LEED Platinum home, and that's what we're in the middle of now. And Raphael has been kind enough to direct and fund and everything to get this project going, to show what it's like to do that kind of an undertaking. And it's we've documented the whole thing. It's quite a chore.
And Raphael, I mean, tell us about that too. I've got, by the way, Ed, I have a tweet here from you that says, PBS show, PBS expressed an interest. Now we have to go find sponsors. Not easy in 2013 because I know I'm curious. I'm sure everyone else that's watching is curious as to where they can actually see this. So can you tell us a little bit about the process, how people can consume this product?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's sort of been a step-by-step process. The fact is that Ed bought this new home, and as he said, and had hoped maybe to sort of remodel it, and then realized that he couldn't. In the course of, the way most people then tear down a home is they drive a caterpillar through it, sending plumes of toxic and noxious gases to their neighbors. What Ed did, because he's Ed, is deconstructed the home. It was a remarkable process where every board was taken down by hand, the nails were taken out, and because in this case timber can't be used in America, it was shipped to Mexico, and they
this kind of timber. It's a specific old 2 by 4 inch. Here it's 1 3/4 by 3.5. So the old wood can't be used for much at all. That was the challenge.
But you managed to send it somewhere where people can still use it.
And Habitat for Humanity came in, and they took all the other bits that could be sold and resold at their restore to help build other homes. And everything, 96% of the house was diverted from landfill. It was a remarkable process.
The IRS did that for us, not the Internal Revenue Service. There's a company called IRS that does recycling. I know, another IRS.
That would be awfully kind of them, and somehow I wouldn't believe that. But so, what does that mean for a home to be LEED Platinum certified? You mentioned that is the highest.
There's silver, there's gold, and there's platinum, and there really are not a lot of residential structures that hit that very high mark. There's a lot of commercial structures, a lot being, what, about 1,000, Raphael?
Yeah, I mean,
1,000, mostly commercial.
About 1,000 structures. As of mid-2012, the statistic from the Building Council, U.S. Building Council, was that there were 1,075 in 25 countries and 49 states. Platinum LEED. It is the highest standard. Ed is actually reaching for platinum and above. And it's a...
You want a category all your own, basically.
Yeah, right. If we hit platinum, I'd be very happy. You're being quite nice, but we'll see how we do. But people doing it for residential structures is quite rare. So we're trying to be rare and go for not just the gold, but the platinum.
But can you tell us just some of the details, too, as to what does that mean to actually
It means everything. It's like you can't put a lot of stuff in a landfill like the old home. We had intended to use part of this home that we built to make it very, very green, and we couldn't. We thought we'd leave 3 walls or 2 walls or 1 wall. We could leave none of the walls because we had to go 2 stories to get the solar panels out of the shade of this beautiful old oak tree. You don't want to harm an oak tree, of course. So it's always things like that that get you to the point where you go, wow, we can't use any of this home. We got to build from the ground up. What are we going to use? Are we going to take down trees and cut down trees to make a home? No, we're going to use steel because steel is very recyclable and recycled. The steel in your car was probably part of a building before. The building was probably part of a car. Steel is very recycled. And
then you've heard of people sort of having little catchment tanks of water, when it rains. Ed's got a 10,000-gallon water catchment tank.
A lot of water.
It looks like a submarine. I mean, it's just enormous. When it got flown in, we looked like we were being invaded from Mars.
Oh, I'm happy you brought that up, actually. We have a short clip that might have to deal with that. So let's take a look at that real quick.
I think we can accomplish a lot of the green things I wanted to do from the beginning.
What are you thinking?
I want to really get a big tank in there.
What do you mean a big tank?
A big rainwater tank.
Why?
I use that water constantly.
You're just talking about a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Just a house would be fine.